What's up, everybody? Rod J back again. Thanks for swinging by to check out this video. And today's a little bit different. Instead of doing a beer review, I'm going to get into a little bit of this Stone versus Sawstone brewery taking place, this trademark dispute, so to speak. So if you're not familiar with it, Sawstone Brewery is out of Eastern Kentucky. They're a small 3-barrel small brewery operation. And they've been basically sent a letter from Stone and kind of in a trademark dispute against them now because of the use of Stone in their name. How one can trademark Stone, I have no freaking idea. But when you look at the situation, the Sawstone is actually a special type of stone in that part of Eastern Kentucky, hence the name Sawstone Brewery. Again, there's a reason for it, and the fact that Stone is trying to trademark it is just kind of crazy in itself, but we'll get into that in a second. So they sent a letter out to them, wanting them to stop this. Now they're looking at legal proceedings, things along those lines. Again, Sawstone is only a 3-barrel brewery. Stone Brewing is the 9th largest craft brewery here in the States. You got here a situation of really a David and Goliath type thing. And of course, what Stone does is they look to take them to court because a smaller brewery does not have enough to match up against them. Obviously, the cost of going to court is something that can be substantial, especially during the pandemic period where some of these smaller breweries, just like all smaller businesses, are struggling right now. So it got so much it got to a point at this level that Sawstone has even had a GoFundMe page set up just to help them try to raise expenses for going to court. And it's just kind of crazy in my mind to think that Stone Brewing would think that someone could actually think Sawstone was actually them. Now, obviously, they're in a battle with Keystone as well. So that's been taking place on that trademark there with Miller. But again, if you're going to confuse a Keystone with a Stone beer, you're probably not a beer person, I would think. You can easily see the difference. And then again, on that, the key in the Stone is still there as well. So it's not like they're going to steal it off of Stone. All the information is there on the beer, but I wonder at what point does it become too much in these trademark disputes to think that some of these companies can just power over everybody else. You know, with the whole thing with the Stone part is now becoming a point where it's almost like when Greg Cook came out to speak. I think it's Cook, it might be Greg Koch. At this point, I might lead to that one because it really is becoming kind of almost like a dick move in what's taking place here, where they're pretty much trying to be the big bully on the block or so to put pressure on the smaller brewery. At the same point, they want to cry as if they are a victim in the situation. So just recently on the blog for Stone, Greg Cook had noticed some things there when he did a piece, and he basically is now saying as one part of it. And if you don't know, if you're not familiar with Brewbound, let me say Brewbound is a great site to actually check out for a lot of beer industry news. Definitely recommend that. I'll try to put the link to actually one of the key pieces here into the description as well. But he wrote, and this much ado involved in a lot of vociferous accusations and name calling because Stone is being attacked. I wonder why. Maybe because you're trying to attack some small brewery that everybody knows isn't actually Stone Brewing. And pretty much saying, out of the clear blue, we became the subject of a vicious online harassment and smear campaign, one that was so far removed from the facts of what had actually happened that it even falsely accused us of having sent more than 100 cease and desist letters this year. He added that the campaign also included cyber and cell phone stalking and harassment, complete with personal threats to me and employees. Now, that's a quote that was actually off of Brewbound that they had picked up when they covered the piece. But then again, it's kind of like, really? Like, people were really coming after you like that? I wonder why, because they were probably upset because of the moves you were actually making. There's actually been a point now on Facebook where a group has actually been created to actually fight back against it, and it's called Boycott Stone Brewing. About 2,000 members have joined already. Seems to be growing, and this has been just over the last week or so that people are kind of like, they kind of see it where it's like, here's a big brewery picking on a small one just to try to protect, they say, their name, but there's no real concern around it with the name. The funny thing about what was written is at the end of the letter or the piece on the blog he had done, he says, we've been brewing beer under the Stone mark for over two decades, beginning when there were a lot fewer craft brewers out there. And this kind of thing is just part of owning a brand name and a company identity. Indeed, we've had to frequently stand up to big beer bullies who have tried to steal our name. We hope for local pioneers' sake that they never have to deal with this, an actual bully. Really? So you don't see yourself in that statement as well, pretty much acting as a possible bully to the small brewery who are trying to basically get their own thing going and kind of get their own identity, but then you're there blocking them. Kind of interesting how you could actually pen that and actually believe what you were putting out there in the words. But it's just kind of crazy on how this whole thing is developing. Kind of curious what your guys' thoughts are out there. Does something like this turn you off to enjoying Stone Brewing, seeing how they are actually taking this route versus such a small brewery at this time, especially with everything going on, as I mentioned? The idea that you can pretty much own the term Stone is kind of crazy in my mind. What if it would have been like Rock or something? Nobody could have used Rock in their name. It's such a basic word out there, and again, it's Sawstone. It's all part of the word. Just like Keystone, it's all part of the word. And I can understand them protecting the trademark, but at what point does it become outlandish? So just wanted to share this because this is something that's floating around out there right now. And it's also something I thought I'd just voice out a little bit on. For me, I think it's kind of crazy that they're actually spending this much time trying to bury a brewery that's trying to get their own thing going. No threat to them, but it is what it is. And for me, I think it makes Stone look a lot worse for this whole situation. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section. I always want to hear your guys' feedback, and I appreciate you checking out this video. I will talk to you guys soon. Keep drinking those good craft beers. Remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. Cheers, everybody.